Have you ever wondered why countries can't just print more money to pay off their debts, or to feed the homeless, or to fix unemployment, or any other issue for that matter? Now, this may seem like a silly question, but it's one of those questions that people may be too embarrassed to ask. However, there's no shortage of people wondering. Well, it's not as simple as it sounds. The short answer to the question can be summed up in one word: inflation. Inflation means prices of things we buy go up over time because there's too much money around. This makes each piece of money worth less. I'll get to that. First, though, we need to establish exactly what money is. While it may seem obvious, it's important to understand that money itself has no intrinsic value. What that means is that money, in itself, has no actual value. It is only considered valuable because it can buy things. If you were stranded on a desert island, money would be totally useless. Money has value because we believe it has value. This phenomenon is known as the Tinkerbell effect, where something exists only because we believe it does. Hypothetically speaking, if we were to suddenly start believing that money had no value, it wouldn't have value. Of course, it wasn't always this way. Money has been around for millennia, and when it was first used, it was in the form of commodity money, which included items of actual value like salt, livestock, weapons, and precious metals such as gold and silver. These items technically didn't have intrinsic value either, but were universally accepted as currency due to their rarity. Then we have representative money. It emerged as a more practical solution. Since carrying around everything you own can be difficult, representative money makes more sense. Basically, you give your gold to a bank, and they keep it safe for you. In return, they give you a piece of paper acknowledging that you own that gold. Therefore, these pieces of paper can be used as money, as anyone can go and redeem the gold at any time. But today, almost every country in the world uses fiat money. Fiat money is the type of money that a government has declared to be legal tender, but it's not supported by something physical like gold or silver. Fiat money requires faith and trust in the government that their money will have value. For instance, let's consider the United States, a relatively young country that has experienced all three monetary systems within 200 years. In 1790, the United States stopped using European money and introduced the US dollar as commodity money, represented by gold, silver, and copper coins. The coins were made from real gold, silver, and copper, and the value of the metal in the coins was exactly equal to their face value. The country then moved on to a mixture of commodity and representative money with the 1900 Gold Standard Act. The government issued dollar bills that could be exchanged for gold. The gold standard is a type of representative money that many countries used at the time. This was an effective way to accurately calculate the exchange rate between countries. For example, if 1 gram of gold costs £1 in Britain and $1.50 in America, you can easily deduce that £1 must equal $1.50. Later, gold coins were discontinued, and silver was removed from other coins, effectively ending commodity money in the United States. Eventually, the US abandoned the gold standard in 1971 and moved on to fiat money. So today, money isn't backed by any tangible asset, but relies on trust in its value. To address the initial question, the reason governments can't simply print unlimited amounts of money ties back to basic economics. When the money supply increases, it leads to inflation and depreciation of the currency's value. To clarify this, imagine a scenario where everyone in a country receives $1 million. If everyone rushes to buy sports cars, which are limited in supply, the logical response is for the prices of sports cars to increase, right? Additionally, more money in circulation means that other countries can purchase more of the country's currency, causing a decline in its value in the international market. Economic theory is not the only factor that highlights the drawbacks of excessive money printing. There are several examples to support this. One recent example is Zimbabwe, which experienced extremely high hyperinflation in 2008 due to excessive money printing. The president's decision to print more money to cover government expenditures caused inflation to skyrocket. At its peak, Zimbabwe's inflation reached astronomical levels, with prices doubling every 24 hours. And the government attempted to solve the problem by printing more and more money with higher denominations, removing zeros from the currency through several revaluations. At one point, the Zimbabwean dollar reached absurdly high denominations, with $100 trillion bills being printed. People were using wheelbarrows full of cash to buy a loaf of bread. The government even made inflation illegal, and people were arrested for raising prices. In 2009, the Zimbabwean dollar was abandoned, and to this day, the country still has no national currency. People use currencies such as the US dollar, the British pound, and the euro. However, as ridiculous as this was, it is considered to be the second worst inflation in history only. Hungary in 1946 witnessed the highest recorded inflation in history. Their monthly inflation rate reached an astonishing 41.9 quadrillion %, with prices doubling every 15 hours. Hungary holds the record for the highest monthly inflation and the highest denomination banknote ever issued, the 100 million billion pengo note. The country's currency, the pengo, became practically worthless. And let's not forget the Weimar Republic-Germany, post-World War I, where hyperinflation was so bad that people used money as wallpaper because it was cheaper than actual wallpaper. These examples show why governments cannot simply print money to pay off their debts. It does not end well, as hyperinflation erodes the value of the currency and leads to economic instability. But that's not all. There's another factor at play here: the international debt market. Countries borrow money from each other. They trust each other to pay it back. If a country starts printing money to pay its debts, this trust can be broken. This lack of confidence can cause the value of the currency to drop in the international market, making imports more expensive and potentially leading to an economic crisis. In summary, governments cannot simply print unlimited amounts of money because it leads to hyperinflation and economic instability. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing facts.